You've lived through decades of change, growth, heartache, and joy. You've built memories that stretch across time, watched the world transform, watched yourself transform, and here you are, after 70, standing on a precious edge of life. Not many people talk about with enough honesty or care. This isn't the end of anything. If anything, it's a profound beginning. But here's the quiet truth no one teaches us. The people you surround yourself with now, they shape everything. Your peace, your joy, your days. It's not just about having company or keeping busy. At this stage, every hour feels a little more sacred. The energy you allow around you, the voices, the presence, the attitudes, they all settle deeper than they used to. You feel things more, you notice more, you don't want just anyone around anymore, and that's exactly how it should be. Think about it. Some people leave you feeling lighter just by being in the room. Others, well, they drain you whether they mean to or not. After 70, it's time to become intentional about who gets a seat at your table. This part of your life deserves people who lift you, not weigh you down. People who bring warmth, who see your worth, who don't rush you or talk over you, but listen, truly listen, and laugh with you, and remind you of all that's still possible. It might sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Choosing who you let close. We often think of success or happiness as a matter of health, money, or activity, but it's more often the company we keep that defines our experience. Relationships can either nourish your soul or slowly chip away at it. Maybe you've already started to notice who energizes you and who doesn't. Maybe you've felt the quiet sting of loneliness even in a crowded room. Or maybe you've pulled back from people who once meant everything, but now feel like strangers. That's all part of it. Letting go of old roles, old dynamics, old expectations, it takes strength, but it also opens up space. Space for something better. Something more aligned with who you are now, not who you were 20 years ago. So who should you allow into that sacred space? Who deserves to walk beside you in this chapter? Not everyone will. And that's not harsh. It's honest. The truth is, there are 5 kinds of people every soul over 70 should be surrounded by. Not just for comfort, but for meaning, growth, and a sense of being truly seen. These people aren't fantasy. They exist. And when you invite them into your life, whether through new friendships, deepening old ones, or even reconnecting with lost ones, you'll notice something powerful. The quality of your days begins to change. But let's not rush. This is not a list to check off. It's a gentle unfolding, a journey through the kinds of human connections that matter most now and why. And I want to walk that journey with you. Because you deserve a life that feels full, not just busy. Rich, not just routine. And it starts with one question. Who's around you? And how do they make you feel when the room grows quiet? Let's explore the first type of person your soul needs in this season of life, someone who might already be in your world, or someone you're yet to meet. There's a certain kind of presence that brings peace just by being near, the kind of person who doesn't fill silence with noise, but instead allows it to be soft, even comforting. This is the first kind of person your life needs after 70, someone calm, steady, grounded. Someone who doesn't rush you, doesn't compete with you, and doesn't expect you to be anyone other than who you are. This person may not be the loudest voice in your world. In fact, they're often quiet. But their presence is like a warm breeze on a chilly day, gentle, soothing, and real. When you talk to them, there's no pressure to impress, no need to perform. They listen, and they really hear you, not because they're trying to fix you or offer advice, but because they value your story, your truth, your being. After 70, life tends to get quieter, not always in a bad way, but in a way that invites reflection. And in that stillness, it's easy to feel the noise of the world press in. That's why this calm soul matters so much. They help you slow down without feeling left behind. They walk beside you, not ahead of you. You can sip coffee together, in silence, or sit on a bench watching the world move by, and it still feels like connection. Maybe you already know someone like this. Or maybe there's someone in your life who has always been there, quietly, patiently, someone you haven't fully let in. Sometimes we overlook these steady people because they don't demand attention. But once you recognize their value, you start to feel how deeply their presence grounds you. Now, the second type of person, they bring a completely different kind of energy, vital, necessary, and uplifting in its own way. This person carries joy in their bones. They still laugh out loud. They find humor in the everyday. They see beauty in little things, and they remind you that life doesn't have to feel heavy to be meaningful. After 70, you've likely felt your share of grief. You may have lost people, faced challenges, navigated health concerns. That's part of the path, but joy doesn't disappear with age. In fact, the older you get, the more sacred joy becomes. Not the wild, reckless kind, but the deep, authentic kind. The kind that bubbles up from a story well told, or a memory shared, or a silly moment when you didn't expect to laugh but did anyway. The joyful person in your life might be younger or older. They might be a friend, a neighbor, or even a grandchild. What matters is the light they bring. Not artificial light, but real, warm light that lifts the spirit. When you're around them, you remember how much good still lives in the world. You feel a little more alive, a little more willing to try something new. Maybe even take a walk. Join a group or share a part of yourself you've kept tucked away. It's not about surrounding yourself with only happy people. Life is more layered than that. But being around someone who reminds you to smile, someone who doesn't take life too seriously, but still knows how serious love and friendship are, that person brings healing. Not through grand gestures, but through their very way of being. And, just like that, you start to feel it. How the people around you affect your days. How the calm ones give you rest and the joyful ones give you spark. These aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. Because fulfillment after 70 isn't about chasing more, it's about choosing better. Better moments, better conversations, better company. And now, as we continue, there's another kind of person we need to talk about. Someone who sees you, not just as who you are now, but as the whole you, the full, beautiful history you carry. Let's explore that next. There's something deeply comforting about being seen, truly seen, not just as a name or a face, but as the collection of all you've been through. The third kind of person your life needs now is someone who remembers, someone who knows your history or is willing to listen and honor it. Someone who doesn't just ask, "How are you?" but asks, "How have you been?" We all carry stories, some told often, others hidden in quiet corners of the heart. The people who make life richer after 70 are those who respect those stories. They don't treat you like a fragile version of your former self. They see your strength, your layers. They know that behind every wrinkle is a memory, behind every pause a reason. This person may be someone who's walked with you for years, a childhood friend, a sibling, a longtime neighbor. Or maybe they're newer to your life, but curious, open, interested in who you are beyond this moment. That matters more than we often admit. Because as we grow older, it can feel like the world wants to define us by our age, our limitations, or even our silence. But you are more than your years, and the people who remind you of that, they're priceless. Being around someone who understands your past, your triumphs, your heartbreaks, your little habits, they help anchor you. They remind you that you didn't just appear in this moment, fully formed. You earned your way here, through living, through loving, through learning. You've seen the world shift in ways most can't imagine, and when someone takes the time to understand that, it makes you feel real, validated, whole. Now, here's something beautiful to consider. This kind of connection goes both ways. As much as you need someone who honors your past, there are people out there who need you. Your wisdom, your perspective, your stories. Don't underestimate how much your voice matters to those younger than you, even if they don't always say it. Which brings us to another vital presence your life deserves. Right now, someone who brings purpose into your days. This fourth person doesn't necessarily wear that label, but you'll know them by how they make you feel. Useful, valued, needed. And not in a burdensome way, but in a deeply human one. After 70, it's easy to feel like the world is moving, without you. Maybe you're retired, or the kids are grown, or some roles you used to hold have faded. That shift can be disorienting, but purpose doesn't disappear with age. It simply changes form. And being around someone who invites you into meaningful participation, whether that's helping them, mentoring them, sharing time, or simply exchanging ideas, reminds you that your life still holds tremendous impact. This person might be a volunteer coordinator, a curious grandchild, a friend starting something new, or even someone you meet by chance who just opens the right door at the right time. But their presence lights something inside you. You find yourself wanting to show up, to contribute, to engage. That spark, that sense of being needed, is not only fulfilling, it's life-giving. Too often, older adults are told to rest, as if their fire has gone out. But many are simply waiting for the right connection, someone who reminds them that their gifts, their mind, their heart still matter, that they can still make a difference, that they're still becoming, not just reflecting. And when you're surrounded by people who value your past and others who invite you into the present with purpose, something starts to shift inside. You stand a little taller, you feel more alive in your skin, and the days feel less like they're passing and more like they're being lived. But there's one more kind of person I want to share with you, perhaps the most vital of all, and it's someone we don't always recognize at first. Yet when they're in your life, they make every other relationship feel more whole. Let's talk about them next. There's a kind of person whose presence doesn't just comfort you or uplift you, but awakens something in you. The fifth and perhaps most transformative person to have in your life after 70 is someone who inspires you to grow. Yes, even now. Especially now. You see, growth doesn't stop with age. It evolves. And the people who gently challenge you, who open your eyes to new ideas, who invite you to see yourself not just as you were, but as who you still can be, those people are rare, and they're gold. This person doesn't push you to do anything you don't want to do. They don't overwhelm you with advice or try to change you. Instead, they spark curiosity. They bring out the part of you that still wants to learn, to create, to be engaged with the world. They might share a new book with you, invite you to try something unfamiliar, or simply ask questions that make you pause and think in a way you haven't in a while. And here's what's beautiful. They see your potential, not your limitations. They speak to your strengths, not your age. They don't assume your best days are behind you. In fact, they help you discover how rich and full the days ahead can be. Maybe you've already met someone like this, or maybe it's a role you play for someone else, because inspiration is a two-way current. As much as you need people who elevate you, you're also capable of elevating others, just by sharing your journey openly and living with intention. And so, when you begin to surround yourself with these 5 kinds of people, those who bring calm, who bring joy, who remember, who give you purpose, and who inspire growth, you start to notice a profound shift. Not necessarily in what you do, but in how you feel. Your days feel less routine and more meaningful. Your relationships feel less transactional and more soulful. Your world doesn't shrink, it expands. Too often, society tells us that aging is about winding down. But the truth is, it's a stage of life that can be incredibly rich, even sacred, if you choose the right people to share it with. Loneliness, regret, or feeling invisible, they're real challenges. But they aren't permanent. The connections you seek aren't out of reach. Sometimes they're closer than you think. Sometimes they're waiting for you to open the door. You have every right to protect your peace, to choose who gets access to your time and energy. You've earned that. You don't have to tolerate draining conversations or relationships that leave you feeling small. You deserve a circle that reflects your worth, your values, your heart. So maybe today is the day to reach out, to rekindle a friendship that still has life in it, or to gently let go of one that's run its course. Maybe it's time to say yes to that invitation you've been hesitant about, or to say no to things that no longer serve you. The beauty of this chapter is that you're the author of it now, fully, freely. The people you surround yourself with now will shape not just how you age, but how you live. Choose those who see you, who lift you, who walk beside you with love, with presence, and with hope. Because after 70, life doesn't slow down. It simply becomes more honest. More intentional, more yours, and that is something worth protecting.